It's Tuesday stitch time. Grab your hook and yarn. We're making something cozy, cute and warm. New stitch, new trick, let's learn today. Easy steps, I'll guide the way. Whether you're new or stitching pro, come along, let's hook and go.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo's Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. I am behind the scenes today here for a stitch tutorial. It is the half double crochet V-stitch, or also known as the Begonia stitch. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to do up a swatch for you to show you how you do it. It's an easy one row repeat. I am using a DK yarn. I've used this before in the past. It is a variegated yarn. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook. You could use a 5 or a 4.5, but this was the closest one I had, and it works well with this yarn. This is kind of splitty, so I do apologize for any spots that look a little thicker than others. And I'm not sure why this fiber is driving me nuts here. You will also need at least 1 to 2 stitch markers if you're not sure on how to find your turning chains. So those are always marked. Hopefully, I think I'm just going to cut this piece off. Well, maybe not. It's kind of all over it. Let's see if I can get this fuzz off of here without hurting the yarn. And some people just call this the half double crochet V-stitch, but it's also known as the Begonia stitch if you've ever heard of it that way. So I'm going to go ahead. This is a multiple of 3 plus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and chain up 24. So 7 times the 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24. If you want to make yours bigger, you can. But I want to make sure that I've got a good number of repeats so you can see exactly how this is worked up. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, well, that didn't go well. That was 19, 20, 21. So that's the multiple of 7 times 3, because it's a multiple of 3 stitches plus 3. So 22, 23, and 24. Now, if you want to make this a bigger project, you can chain up however many you want. This is great for blankets, scarves, washcloths, hot pads, you name it. So we're going to go ahead, if you're using a stitch marker because you're not sure of how to find your turning chain, and usually the first row is the hardest one to find. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off of here. So this was the one on the hook. The one right below it is kind of tight right here, but that's where you want to put your stitch marker, is the one right below that big loop. So you have that marked. That is your turning chain for around row 1 or foundation row, however you call it. Everybody calls it something different. It could either be row 1 or it could be the foundation row. So then I'm going to put my hook back in, make sure it's not twisted. Now we're going to count that chain that we just marked, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to go one more into the 4th chain. We're going to put a half double crochet, so that's yarn over, insert your hook. Now you can either grab both loops, or you don't have to grab just one. You can just grab the one, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. You just made your first double crochet. Chain 1, We're going to yarn over again and go back into that same chain to pull up another loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, yarn over and pull through all 3. You've just made your first half double crochet V-stitch. This one's actually a little tighter. If you want it looser, you can use a different size hook for this type of yarn, but this is what I'm using for this one for the tutorial. Now we're going to skip 2 chains, so we're going to skip the next one, and into the 3rd chain we're going to put another half double crochet V-stitch. So yarn over, insert the hook. I'm just going to go to grab one here, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. We're going to go ahead and chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over. You'll have 1, 2, 3, and then your yarn over will be 4. We're going to go through all 3 of those loops to finish that V-stitch. Then you'll repeat this all the way down to the end, and I'll let you know how to finish the row. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it again. I know that I said I would meet you down there, but I'm going to keep going here. So I'm going to skip the next 1, 2, go into the 3rd. We've already got our yarn over. Go into that 3rd chain, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, skip the next 2 chains, 1, 2, into the 3rd. Come on, into the 3rd. Pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over. Pull through all 3 loops. Chain 1. I'm going to go back into that same chain. Yarn over. Pull up a loop. I might actually have to use a bigger hook for this. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. 3 loops. We're going to yarn over, skip the next 2, 1, 2, into the 3rd, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, skip the next 2, 1, 2, into the 3rd chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, skip the next 2, 1, 2, into the 3rd, pull up a loop. No, let me do that again. That didn't go very well. So 1, 2, into the 3rd, pull up a loop, pull through all 2, yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now we are at the end. You should have 2 chains left. We're going to skip 1 and go into the last chain here and do just one half double crochet. The start and end of every row will start with a half double crochet, which is either a chain 2 or an actual double crochet. You'll start with a chain 2, This one's a little different for the first one. And then at the end, you'll just have the 1/2 double crochet. And then you'll chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work. This counts as your first 1/2 double crochet. We're going to go into the last chain 1 space, or the first chain 1 space, the last one that you did from row 1 or the previous row, and do a 1/2 double crochet V-stitch in that spot. So yarn over, go into that. You might have to fiddle with your yarn a little bit, your stitches, to make sure you're in the right spot. But right here is the chain 1 space. This is not a chain 1. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into this chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, yarn over, go back into that chain 1 space, pull up another loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And then you'll repeat this all the way down to the very last repeat of the V-stitches, and I'll show you how to end this row. So yarn over, skip over to the next chain 1 space, which is right in between the 2 1/2 double crochet stitches. I'm going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, yarn over, back into that chain 1 space, pull up a loop. Sorry about that if I got out of focus there. Yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, skip over to the next V-stitch, the chain 1 space in the V-stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, yarn over, back into that chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, yarn over, skip over to the next V-stitch, into that chain 1 space, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, you'll have 3 loops on your hook, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Next, we're going to yarn over, go into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1. Gonna go into the next, chain 1, into the same chain 1 space, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, yarn over. We're going to skip over to the next chain 1 space, which is in between the 2 1/2 double crochet stitches from the previous row. Yarn over, pull up your loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1, yarn over, go back into that chain 1 space and do another 1/2 double crochet. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, and you'll pull through all 3. Now we are at the final V-stitch from the first row. We're going to put our last V-stitch right here. Insert your hook into that chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Now, to end the row, we're going to place a 1/2 double crochet into your churning chain, which is right here where your stitch marker is if you're using a stitch marker. Now, I only did this for this row because it'll be easy to find after you work it for the second row. So we're going to go ahead and yarn over. You can either leave your stitch marker there or take it out. Insert your hook into the top of the churning chain. Yarn over. Pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. yarn over, pull through all 3. If your yarn will let you pull through all 3 of them. There we go. Some of the yarns, this is very splitty yarn. I like this yarn, but it's very splitty. So there's your last half double crochet. Then it's just a repeat of that row. You'll chain 2, and I'll show you how to find your turning chain if you decide not to use a stitch marker. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work. That counted as the first half double crochet. We're going to yarn over. We're going to find the first chain 1 space, which is right here. We're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Chain 1. I'm going to yarn over again. Insert our hook into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. There's the first half double crochet V-stitch for the 3rd row. This is reversible, so it doesn't matter which row you want to use as which side is right or wrong for you. That just depends on you, which way you want it to be right or wrong. Unless it's part of a pattern, then they already have put in there which side is the right side and which one's the wrong side. So, all right, then we're going to yarn over, go into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, yarn over, go into the same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay. Let me see here. My daughter wants in. I'll be right back. Come on. Go on. Go. I'll be right there. Go. Bear. I'm doing a video, Bear. Come on. Okay, bye, Bear. Bye, Bear. Bye. I let her in. I had to go close our back door, so I apologize for that. They were outside before I started this, and they came back in, and she wanted in here, and then I opened the door, and she just stood there, so I don't know. All right, now we're going to go into the next chain 1 space, and do another V-stitch, so yarn over, go into that chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. Yarn over, we're going to go into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop. Well, I kind of caught myself on one of the colors there. Alright, let's do that again. Okay, so yarn over. If you've got really splitty yarn, I would suggest using a slightly larger hook so you're not grabbing that yarn that you just worked on the previous row, because that's what I just did. So we got 1, 2, 3 loops, and the yarn over to pull through all 3 loops. Chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Chain 1, I'm going to do that again, yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, skip over to the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. If your yarn will let you do that, my yarn is being very finicky right this minute. Chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Yarn over, we're at the end of the row. We're at the last chain one space, and I'll show you how to find your chain, the top of the turning chain from row 2. So, alright, let's finish this here. So we got to go into the chain one space, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Alright, now we're at the end here, and right here on the side, this is the first chain, this is the second. This top part here is part of the last V-stitch that we did on this row, and then we did the chain to get that up there. So it's easy to see it, I think, when you don't have stitches like right next to it. So this is the chain 2 after the half double crochet from row 1, or the foundation row, depending on how you classify it. And then we chained 2, 1, 2. So we're going to yarn over and try to find this here. Okay. It's a different color than the first one, so it's a little easier to find. Again, if you prefer to use stitch markers, you'll have a stitch marker right where you need to go through. We got that through that little spot there. We're going to pull up a loop. We'll have 3 loops on the hook, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and pull through, if my yarn will let me do it, all 3 loops. And you've just finished row 3. Again, you'll just keep repeating row 2 until you have the size that you need. Just keep repeating it. Now this right here I think would be a good size if you were doing a skinny scarf maybe. I only have one of these. I got it from a local yarn shop in Virginia. So I would have to find something that would work well with this to make it, you know, stretch far enough with the stitch that I choose. So if you've ever used the half double crochet V-stitch before, let me know what you've made with it. I know that you can make blankets with it, you can make scarves, hats, washcloths, you could make hot pads. There's a lot of things you could make with this stitch. It's very versatile. Now, if you see, there is a little bit of a pattern showing up with this purple on how it comes through. There's actually like a diagonal line here. I don't know how much that's going to keep going through it if I stayed with this size. If I enlarged it, it wouldn't be like this. Sometimes these will just make a pattern on its own. I might go back to this and make it a little bit wider for a scarf. I like this much better than the double crochet V-stitch. I think that one's a little too open in my opinion, but a lot of people like that stitch because it does work up really quickly. So, but that's 3 rows. To me, that's not too bad for how far it went, how tall this is. I'm going to do one more row with you. I just lost some of my yarn on the floor. It was a yarn barf pile anyways. So, alright, so row 4, chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work. Or you can turn your work first and then chain. Some people prefer to do it that way. I chain it up and then I turn my work. Yarn over, find your first chain 1 space, which is right here, in between your 2 half double crochets. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over. Now we're going to skip over to the next chain 1 space, which is right down here. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 1, 2, 3 loops, yarn over to the next V, chain 1 of the V stitch of the previous row. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, gonna go back into that same chain 1 space and do another half double crochet. And we're going to skip over to the next chain 1 space. And again, if you're using really splitty yarn, I would suggest using either a larger hook or changing the style of hook that you're using, because this yarn might work better with a tapered head than an inline. I think once I got that first row done, though, it was working a lot better than it had been. Okay, I'm trying to pick, there we go. I'm trying to get off my yarn off the floor. Alright, we chained 1, gonna go yarn over, go back into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, yarn over, back into that chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And depending on how many chains you started with will depend on how many half double crochet spots you have. Now for me, I did a multiple of 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there should be 7, and then your 2, just 1 half double crochet at the beginning and end of your row. Okay, now we just finished this one, so we're going to go into the next one. I yarned over, I'm going to pull up a loop into the next chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, yarn over, go into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, and you'll have 1, 2, 3 on your hook, yarn over, and pull all through all 3. Yarn over, and we're going into the last repeat for the V-stitch. Go into the next chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, chain 1, yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain 1 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And now we're at the end of the row. We've got to make sure that we get our turning chain right here. So this stitch, this piece right here, is part of this half double crochet. So you want to go to the one that's right below it to get the turning chain. So if you turn your work, you'll see a little V on the side. That's the one that you want to go into. If you go from the top and look, that V, this V right here, is the first stitch of that previous row. So you don't want to go into that one. You want to go into the next one down from it. Again, if you like to use stitch markers, you're more than welcome to use stitch markers to help you find these easier. These are just little tricks that I've picked up either from another podcaster or just myself. And then yarn over, pull up that loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's the end of row 4. Again, I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos, but I do let you know that if you see the tail on this side, if you're a right-handed crocheter, that means you just finished an even row. If it's on this side, that means you just finished an odd row. But it's reversed for lefties. So if you're lefty and it's on this side, you just did an odd row. If it's on this side, it's an even row because you're crocheting backwards of right. Well, I mean, to be fair, to us, it's backwards. My sister is a left-handed. She's left-handed. I have another sister who can do both right and left-handed for writing. I don't know if she crochets specifically with her right hand because she had to learn how to use her left hand when she hurt herself horseback riding. I think it was horseback riding. She did stuff to her arms. She couldn't use her right arm for a while, so she had to learn with her left hand. But yeah, this is kind of cool. It kind of continues on, but the green is a little bit more prominent in the rest of this. And I know that I have the label for this yarn. It's a Plymouth yarn. I think it's Plymouth yarns that this was from. I don't know where the label's at right this second. It fell off a while ago. I still have it. Just where it's at, I have no idea. But yeah, so again, if you've ever used this stitch before, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like my content and haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe and then the notification bell so you're always aware of when I put out new content. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay warm or cool, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.